this quick little video will just demonstrate how to add users to APU's Seis account so that students will have their own account that they can add a student to, or you can add the student for them, and then they can adapt that student in order to write an IEP or do the BIP within Seis for practice. So first, if you just type in Seis into a browser, it'll pop up Special Education Information System. And so we're going to go ahead and log in. Okay, and then you should have received some credentials from the course lead giving you a username and password. And so then you just log in. And you are considered an administrator, so you can add students. So under the administration tab here, you'll find manage users. So we're going to go ahead and do that. And then you'll see all of the students who've been added in the past and when. And then you can go ahead and click add a user. So the way I have done this, so that I didn't have to add a user every term, is I have kind of assigned my name, the teacher candidate name that they're going to the account that they're going to be using is just Backrack teacher candidate. Their username is teacher candidate 1, 2, and then I give them alphabetically what sort of their class number is or their teacher candidate number is, and so they can log in using that username, and then the password actually can stay the same for everyone. So that kind of just makes it a little bit easier. So I'm going to add another user using my same format, but you could certainly add student names just like this down here, which we certainly have done in the past. So if you'd like to actually use the student's name, then that works as well. But so I don't have to do that every time. I just streamlined it a little bit. So I'm going to take this automatic population out. Okay. And using my system, it's Backrack, and it's teacher candidate, and then the number is their last name. So it'll look like Backrack teacher candidate number 18. User name, just to follow a pattern for myself, is teacher candidate 18. And I've assigned them all the same password, which is SPED, capital SPED 529 exclamation point to confirm that. And everyone has the same password just to make it easier. And we really don't have to fill this information in. We just need to assign them a level of kind of a user type, and they'll be assigned the user type as teacher. And then it doesn't really matter here what title you're going to give them, but I usually just do in special education teacher. And then you do want to give them permission that they can kind of add students and edit student record, edit IEP, those kind of things. So let me just push save. Okay, so now I can kind of double check that they're in, their name is in. If you want to give them their actual name, that's fine. And they can get in. So we can double check. Yep, they're all in. And then if there's any problem eventually with their password or they can't get in, you go back into their profile and reset their password if you needed to. But usually that works pretty well. Okay. Once you have added your teacher candidate as a teacher, you need to assign a student to that individual. So this is where we're going to go over under the student tab and click down to add student. then you can add whatever kind of name you want, but I'm just going to name example student. And you do have to give a birth date, so I just put today's date in. Those are the required fields. Anything with the star you have to fill in. So we're just going to, add in. We don't know if, and then the student, our teacher candidate can go back and change all of this information. So you can add any, I usually just add the top one so I don't have to scroll down. I don't need a second school. Case manager, here's where you're going to find the teacher candidate. So I just added teacher candidate number 18 for me and add, and then add. Okay, and then I can keep adding students. So each of your students or your teacher candidates that you have made an account for, you'll need to add at least some mock information to add a student for them. And I can go back to my caseload and see that my teacher candidate number 18 now has one student, and it's just called in this name. They can go back in themselves when they log in and change that information under the little blue man. And they can make them the appropriate age, proficiency, and give the demographics that they want for their mock student that they're going to be working with, okay? So that's kind of how you set it up at the beginning of the term so they can access this. It's a little bit time consuming to do, but not too bad once you get it set up. All right, thanks.